make sure you watch this video to the end, because there are some amazing tips that will shock you as a girl why a man should get married. Now, the first tip I'll drop here is number one tip is, if he likes her ride, now that's like it's some kind of new line, I don't know, but what it actually means is that if a man is a horse and the girl is a rider, if the woman controls his life, and his life is way more better if he was in control of it, then that's like a super merit for the man. He wants, now if somebody is in control of your money, for example, like a bank, and they add capital, so they add interest to your money, it makes sense. It just makes a whole lot of sense that you continue banking with that bank. So, and in this life, we help each other out. Now, if a woman is kind of partly in control of a man's life and she makes the man's life better, then he has no choice. He has to really, consider that kind of woman. So if he likes her ride, so imagine a woman should imagine they are the horse rider and the man is the horse, and something like that. That's one. Let me not bore you. The next one I will share is, if she makes his life much more easier anyhow. Now, like I said, these tips sound alike, but they're different. If she makes his life much more easier anyhow means, experiment, because you never know what's going to work. So if she makes his life much more easier anyhow, this tip is quite very, very logical if you look at it, because everybody wants their life to be much more easier. Everybody. So your aim in his life should not be to you should be it's not as if I'm saying you shouldn't give him problems. No, those things are part of the chemistry, but you should be finding ways to make his life much more easier, and that's very important. I guess men like that. Now, number 9, I would say, if she's really understanding. Now it sounds like number 10, number 11, but this is also different. If she's really understanding, now I think a woman should seek understanding. In his life. Try to, women most times, and even men too, towards women, we take a relationship as something that is not serious. We read our books, we read books and all that, but we do not study relationship. We do not experiment with it. We feel it's not relationship and all that, but it's something we really need to study a lot. So if she's really understanding, understanding makes life easy. Learning how to forgive and all that. Understanding makes life easy. Understanding makes things much more easier, and understanding deepens. On the scale of 1 to 10, for example. If somebody might be understanding 5/10, some understanding 6/10, and all that like that. So seek to understand him more. That will make things much more easier, and get used to a new pattern. If probably both of you are fighting because of one thing before, learn and try and kind of improve, so you don't fight about that thing again. So understanding is very, very key. Now, number 8, if he cannot do without her in any way at all, if he cannot do without her in any way at all, Now, this tip, as you can see, also sound like the rest, but as you can see, it has its own slant. It's not exactly. If a man can't do without you in any way, that's a revelation. How can you be in his life? How can you be in his life that will make him, always kind of need you like a product? You know, that's key. Now, we should, I think women should like, consider these tips in the sense of, adding more than one of them to your arsenal, not just one. Add one or more to your arsenal. Maybe I'm dropping like 10 tips, and stay tuned for like 2 bonuses in the end. You can start practicing like 5 tips. Don't just take one out. Just make the arsenal kind of buoyant and all that. So number eight, if he cannot do without her in any way, that's number 8. Number 7, if they have no other choice, and this is like they, not he or she. If they have no other choice, you understand? Like if two people are kind of stuck and they discover that they can't go anywhere else. This could be in many manners or many situations. Now, as I go, you might find many reasons why two people have no other choice. You understand? So try and overlay one tip on the other. Try and experiment with the tips, and you will see drastic revelations. If they have no other choice, having no other choice could be like, maybe, let me give an example. Let's say they live in London, and they don't want to come back to Nigeria and all that, and they are both in London, and it makes sense for them to get married. Now, these tips are kind of psychological. So somehow they're kind of psychological, because they are not tips. They're not the ones you hear every day, like the ones you hear on mainstream, or the ones that are conventional, or the ones that you've been hearing. These are psycho tips. These are psychedelic tips. They're not tips you hear on a daily basis from a psychologist or from a therapist and all that. You understand? These are just systems. You understand? If it works, it works. If it helps you, it helps you. If it don't, it don't. But I'm sure it will. So if they have no other choice, and this particular tip doesn't mean that if they have no other choice, in the sense that maybe they have no choice in life or something. It might be fate. It might be fate. FATE, pushing people together. You understand? And they discover that, man, I think we're in a condition whereby we have to be together. Sometimes it's not pre-planned. It's not something that they foresaw. It just happens to be that they have no other choice, and this can be in many, many, many forms. You understand? So let's go on. Number 6. If a lady do her homework and know what he wants and really wants to be in his life, if a lady do her homework, or if a lady does her homework and knows what he wants and really wants to be in his life. Now, doing your homework is very important, because you can't assume you know somebody. You can't assume you know somebody. You have to really know them. And then that's very true. And he really wants to be in his life, because the only reason you want to do that much work to know somebody is if you want to be in their life. We take ourselves so serious. We don't do research. We don't take notice of our vices, or what we don't like, or what makes us happy and all that. So because of that, we're unable to build very, very strong relationship. So if a lady do her homework, that's key. Understand? Definitely she will be in his life, and vice versa. These tips are not just for girls, they're also for boys. And watch out when somebody is doing these things, either from a boy to a girl, or a boy to or a girl to a boy, or from a man to a human, or from a human to a man. Watch out. It means they have your interest in mind. If somebody is trying to understand you to make your life better, they have your interest in mind. People who do not want to be in your life will not take such steps to do those things. Now, number 5 is if he is financially buoyant. If he is financially buoyant, this is also something we all know. These are, the tips are now becoming a little bit more pronounced than the other ones. So definitely the reason why many guys do not get married is because they are not financially buoyant. There's a lot of things involved in getting married these days in Nigeria and all that, even outside the world and all that generally. But I'm trying to focus on Nigeria on this one. So financial buoyancy is very important because if somebody is financially buoyant, the process is much more easier for them. No matter what they want to do, whether it's traditional wedding, whether it's other weddings, is quite much more easier. So trust me, check out for that. I'm not saying girls should date only guys who have money, but a guy who have money is likely to get married than a guy who don't. You understand? I think a guy could let go if he doesn't have money. That's very possible. So, and tell you he's not ready. So, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't build build a relationship from scratch when the guy doesn't have money. Sure, that's key and that's epic. That's also a strong bonding process for and probably I'll do another podcast for that. Now, number 4, if the lady gets pregnant for him, if a lady gets pregnant for him that he cannot abort, this sounds very psycho. Like I told you, these are psycho tips. They're not conventional tips. They're not mainstream. They are just some certain kind of stuff that you get to hear, and you should be glad. We should be glad we are all hearing this now. If the lady gets pregnant for him and he cannot abort it, now a lot of these things happen. These things happen. Nobody's saying these are bad things or good things. It's just a kind of revelation for us to know and to use. I'm not saying we should use this to manipulate ourselves. I'm just saying, I'm just putting it out there. If the lady gets pregnant for him that he cannot abort, it makes sense. So, if a lot of times this happens and you see marriages happening like speed of light because they have to finalize things. Now, number 3, if they have a history of getting married in their family. If they have a history of getting married in their family. Now, this is very true because this is just some psychological tip within any social climb. When somebody is doing something, others want to follow. So if in his family people are getting married, he feels compelled to get married. So ladies, watch out for if his family is getting married, because he will likely get married because he will feel his turn will come, and when his turn comes, he will want to carry the mantle, the trait over. Now, number 2, if the lady promises to be very supportive in the entire life. If the lady promises to be very supportive in the entire life. Now, it's not as if girls are budding or women are budding, but somehow it's a kind of attachment you're adding to your life. So a woman who affirms to her man that, hey, you know what, I'm with you, no matter the problem, I'll be with you, no matter what happens, I'll be with you. Those things help the man. Those things give the man a little bit of courage that he's going into this thing with somebody that understands, somebody that will be there for him, somebody that will not point fingers at him. So the lady must learn to affirm these things, that he will be there for him, and that really helps the man to to relax a little bit and not be so because at the end of the day, this is a 2-game journey, and if they are not supportive to each other, there'll be issues. So the more supportive the lady is, the better. So let the lady affirms that she's ready to be with him throughout the journey of marriage, and that really helps the man's psychic. It helps him want to go into that with her. Then number 1 tips when they come of age, this sticks out more. When they come of age, when the men come of age, they want to get married. This is not something that they have a choice for. It is psychological. And this reminds me of a quote from one of my favorite writers. And he will tell you, if, for example, you want to swim and you are scared to swim, once you are pushed into the water, you kind of want to swim, but it's not like you actually wanted to get into the water. So sometimes we are forced to do something. Sometimes, and these tips are not tips that that happens because we have a choice. These are just these tips are kind of natural tips that it has to work. It has to work because they are kind of beyond the man's willpower, or they are beyond the man's discretion. So they make sense. These tips make sense. So number one, when he comes of age. So when a man comes of age, he wants to get married. It's just natural, natural call. So from nature. So which means that if a girl is dating a guy, an advanced guy, a guy who is kind of in his 30s, that guy is likely to get married than a guy in his 20s. So I will tell someone about, like, okay, date a guy in his 30s when you are in your 20s, because he will likely get married to you when you are in your mid 20s and when he is in his mid 30s. Makes sense. So I guess if this doesn't sound good, drop your comment below and tell me, criticize me, tell me I'm saying rubbish, and I understand. Let me add some bonus tips for staying tuned. Understand? Let me add some bonus tip. I think I already added one because I think I already stated 11 tips already. Probably I missed the numbers. But let me add one. I'm that generous. I'm a generous guy, so I added one more tip. But let me add one. This one says giving him enough reasons that he cannot say no. Like, I think this kind of summarizes it. Giving him enough reasons that he cannot say no, which means you've really showed him a lot of love or sacrifice and all that he can't say no. I'm not saying girls who give and take and all that, and they say they have sacrificed. I'm talking about pure sacrifice. You've done stuff in his life that he can't just say no. You've done enough. Like, saying no will mean that he's so wicked. There's something you do in somebody's life, sacrifice you've made in their life, that, if they say no, they feel like karma is going to come for them. Do you understand? So do enough so that he can't say no. So that's it, guys. I think these are like 12 reasons now, but let me just call it 10. Let's say 10 top 10 reasons with 2 bonuses why men get married these days. 10 unconventional reasons why men get married today. Thank you, and I hope, give me your comments, drop your comments and tell me if I'm wrong and all that, and also tell your friends to subscribe, because I'll be dropping some tips. I won't tell you if these tips are not professional, but trust me, they are very, very helpful. Very, very helpful. Very, very helpful. I can guarantee you your money back if they are not helpful. Thank you, guys. Next time.